Hello, welcome back to class The Fundamental of Music. Last week we talked about vocal trainings and singing techniques we have in music, and we extensively worked through understanding it, where we were able to talk about the nature, method, physiological basis, and techniques of vocal training and singing. We also addressed the problems that singers commonly face when it comes to the vocal aspect, vocal health and performance. Today, we'll be talking about musical forms and analysis. Musical forms and analysis. And I want to give an understanding of what actually musical form is. For some of us that have done anything related to maybe an assignment before we start, we need to actually look into the question and we look at how best to answer the question. We form a form of like an outline for what we want to do. And that gives a structure through which we want to uh, get what we have to get. And also, um, when perhaps we want to, we've actually seen songs that are written whereby we have different form of writing it. We have some that they start with verse and you have the chorus followed. Some have verse followed, then chorus, verse, chorus, and some have verse, chorus, verse two, chorus, and then bridge there, and then they sing choruses. Some they start with chorus and they have the form through which the music are written. So also we have here, when we talk about musical form, we talk about the structure and organization of a music, of a piece of music over time. So it gives a structural outline of how a music is. And for this one, we do not actually call it more of a verse chorus. We see it as a alphabet, that's A and B, and we will discuss about that so explicitly today. So it is how music unfolds, creating coherence and contrast, guiding the listeners through the progression of musical ideas. Different musical forms we have different musical forms and they express different purposes and are shaped by historical and stylistic context. As introduced in the first class, we have a number of musical forms. We have the binary, we have the ternary, the sonata, we have the verse, chorus, we also have the rondo, and but for this, we'll be talking about just four: the binary, the ternary, the rondo, and the sonata. And that is what we'll be talking about explicitly in the class today. The first one, which is a type of musical form, is binary form. For this, we have it as a musical structure that consists of two related sections, typically labeled A and B. So we have two sections, we have it A and B, section A and section B. And that is when you see A and B, it is a binary form. Each section is usually repeated and the overall form is written as A, A, B, B. Binary forms is one of the most common structure in Western classical music, especially during the classical periods, the Baroque and the classical period. And the section A introduces the main theme or musical idea, while the section B either develops that idea further or present contrasting material. So it's either the section B develops the theme, the idea that has been raised in section A, or raise the contrasting material or idea to that. So that's for binary form. When we have types of binary form, we have the simple binary form, we have the sectional binary, the continuous binary, the rounded binary, and the balanced binary. The simple binary, this is a form that consists of two sections, A and B, where the A introduces the theme and modulates, while B either develops the theme or presents contrast, just like the definition we gave. The sectional binary in this form the section A ends with an authentic cadence in the tonic key, making it sound complete before moving to the contrasting or continuing B section. For continuous binary, the section A modulates an end in different key, creating a sense of movement or tension that is resolved in the B section, which return to the tonic. And the rounded binary is after the B section, a shortened or modified return of the A section called A appears, bringing back the main theme to provide closure within or without repeating the full A section. And the last one is the balanced binary. This form features similar or identical melodic material at the end of both A and B section, creating symmetry and a unified feel. The next form is the ternary form. The ternary form is a classical three parts. We said the binary form is just two parts, consisting of two parts. This consists of three parts, commonly labeled A, B, A, and it features an initial section A, a contrasting middle section B, and return to the first one, A. This structure allows composer to present a musical idea, offer contrast, and then bring back the original material to create a satisfying sense of symmetry, balance, and completeness. The return of A section may be an exact repetition or a slightly varied version, but it typically retains the core identity of the original music. And we have the component just like we've talked about. We have the section A, the section B, and the return of section A. Yeah, I have discussed it previously, so we'll move on. The rondo form is another one. The rondo form is a lively and recurring musical structure characterized by repetition or a principal theme, A, that alternates with contrasting episode, commonly labeled BC. It is designed to balance familiarity with varieties, offering a clear and engaging musical narrative. The A section acts as a musical refrain that keeps returning after each new contrasting section, making the form both predictable and refreshing. And if you look at some music, you have a kind of a refrain, a chorus being sung, and after another song has been raised, then you go back to the refrain again, and that is actually rondo form. The primary appeal of rondo forms lies in its alternation between the familiar and the new. So you get familiar with one while another one is being introduced. And we have patterns in rondo form. We have a 5-part rondo, A, B, A, C, A. So it's like you're talking about A, B. You go back to A, and then you go to C, you go back to A, and you go to E. So it moves on that way. This form alternates a recurring A theme with two contrasting episodes, B and C. We have the 7 parts rondo, which is AB, AC, AB, A, and that's the 7 parts. A more elaborate version, which features recurring A section intercepted or interspersed with B and C episode. with B returning later to enhance cohesion and thematic development. And the last one is variation. Rondo form like A, B, A, C, A, D, A introduce additional contrasting section, offering flexibility in structure, which maintains the core principle of alternating a main theme with a varied episode. Now we have the sonata form. The sonata form is a foundational structure in Western classical um, music. It is the foundational form in Western classical music, especially prominent in um, classical periods. We have it so common in classical music, and um, it is commonly used in the first movement of sonatas, symphonies, and concertos, offering a balanced framework that blends unity with contrast. Its main purpose is to present music theme, develop them through contrast and transformation, and resolve them in a coherent, emotionally satisfying way. So that's sonata. The form is built around thematic contrast, usually featuring two main themes that are introduced, developed, and recapitulated, which helps listener follow the musical story and appreciate the compositional craft. Just to return to that, this is sonata form, not rondo form. That's a mistake. So, despite its clear outline, sonata form allows the creative freedom in harmonic progression, rhythm, and orchestration. And lastly, it typically serves as the opening movement in multi-movement composition, establishing thematic material and tonal direction for the rest of this thing. So we have the structural components of sonata, which is the exposition, the development, recapitulation, and coda, which is optional. We have them as that. And the exposition is the opening section, which introduces two main themes, one in the tonic key and the other in the contrasting key, connected by a modulating transition and ending with a closing theme. The development here here, the theme from the exposition are manipulated through modulation, fragmentation, and variation, creating harmonic tension and contrast. Um, for recapitulation, the main theme returns, but this time both are presented in the tonic key, resolving earlier harmonic contrast. And the last one, which is coda, which is optional. The coda wraps up the movement by emphasizing the tonic key and may revisit earlier themes, providing finality and a strong conclusion to sonata. So, like in conclusion, we've been able to talk about the various musical forms. We talked about four. We have the binary, the ternary, the sonata, and then the rondo. We've talked about them. And I believe you will go back and read them thoroughly so that there will be enough understanding about it. Next week, we'll be talking about musical instruments. I know many of us would like to hear this topic, so we'll be talking about musical instruments, though we are hoping that we will uh, talk about the practical later, but let's be hoping for the best, or it will be a theoretical part of it. Thank you.